Imagine a world in which the Kushan Empire did not fracture after its great age, but became a durable bridge from Central Asia to northern India. Its cities would join caravan roads, river routes, and sea trade in one vast, multilingual realm. In real history, the Kushans became one of the great powers of the 1st and 2nd centuries. Under Kanishka I, they governed from Purushapura and Mathura, while their influence linked Bactria, Gandhara, and much of northern India. Their later decline, however, opened space for new regional powers. But what if that decline had been delayed? Not through the conquest of all India, but through a stronger federation of frontier provinces, trading cities, and allied Indian courts. Could a resilient Kushan state have reshaped Asia's political balance for centuries? The Kushans emerged from the Eurasia, a confederation that migrated west into Bactria. By the 1st century CE, their rulers had turned a crossroads of steppe, Iranian, and Hellenistic worlds into a kingdom positioned on major overland trade routes. Kujula Kadphises united the Kushan branch of the Eurasia. His successors expanded south across the Hindu Kush, securing Gandhara and northwestern India, territories where routes to the Arabian Sea met the roads of Inner Asia. Kanishka I, whose accession is commonly placed around the early 2nd century, presided over the dynasty's greatest cultural flowering. Buddhist institutions grew, cities prospered, and court patronage helped make Gandharan art famous far beyond the empire's borders. Yet Kushan authority was strongest in the northwest and north. South and west lay other powerful states and local rulers, including the Satavahanas in the Deccan and the western Kshatrapas along parts of western India. Expansion required negotiation as much as force. Our divergence begins in the 130s CE, after Kanishka's authority is established. Instead of pursuing a reckless push to conquer the whole Deccan, the Kushan court backs a coalition of northern Indian merchants, frontier governors, and discontented western rivals of the Satavahanas. In this scenario, a fictional Kushan commander we will call Viradeva coordinates the campaign. He combines mobile Bactrian cavalry, local infantry, and practical early siege catapults, not to erase the Satavahanas, but to secure contested northern routes and compel a political settlement. The coalition moves quickly through the northern Deccan. Its aim is to seize river crossings, warehouses, and a small number of fortified junctions before rival courts can unite against it. The campaign is costly, but its limited objectives make it more sustainable. At a fictional confrontation near Nashik, the coalition breaks Satavahana momentum in the north. The Satavahana heartland remains independent, but its court accepts a negotiated division of influence and a reopening of trade corridors. This is the crucial change. Kanishka does not gain a continent by conquest. He gains a network of tributary agreements, protected markets, and local partners. The Kushan state becomes broader, richer, and, if it can manage competing elites, far harder to isolate. The first reward is commercial. Kushan officials now influence the roads linking the northwest to western Indian ports, including the Barigaza region. Rather than fielding a separate imperial navy, they tax, protect, and regulate Indian-built merchant shipping. Revenue pays for roads, bridges, depots, and guarded passes. These are not Roman-style highways crossing every province, but practical packed earth and stone routes that make it easier for caravans, officials, and supplies to move between Bactria, Gandhara, Mathura, and the western coast. To hold its new influence, the court expands existing satrapal habits rather than imposing one uniform administration. Local councils retain authority over land, ritual, and markets, while imperial agents supervise customs, roads, coinage, and military obligations. This arrangement changes the court itself. Bactrian, Iranian, Gandharan, Sanskrit, and Prakrit traditions meet in its administration and ceremonial life. The result is not a single blended people, but a political culture skilled at working across difference. Buddhist monasteries benefit from royal and merchant gifts, while Brahmanical and local traditions remain central to communities across the empire. The ultimate Kushan state gains strength not by replacing religions, but by making room for many institutions to compete and cooperate. But greater wealth also creates greater strain. A realm of distant provinces needs reliable succession, trusted governors, and shared incentives. In this timeline, Kanishka's successors inherit not a conquered subcontinent, but an ambitious federation that must be maintained generation by generation. For nearly a century, later Kushan rulers preserved that federation through concessions, marriages, and trade revenue. Then, in 224 CE, the Sasanian dynasty rises in Persia. A new Iranian power begins pressing into eastern Iran and the old Kushan frontier. Historically, Sasanian pressure helped strip Kushan rulers of western territories. Here, a better-funded Kushan federation has deeper reserves in northern India and stronger local alliances. It can reinforce Bactria without abandoning the lands that sustain it. In the 230s, a fictional frontier campaign tests that resilience. Sasanian cavalry pushes toward Bactria, while Kushan commanders assemble mounted archers, infantry, and Indian elephant contingents near their supply bases. The battle is imagined, but the strategic danger is real. At a fictional battle near Balkh, the Kushan-led force prevents a decisive Persian breakthrough. The result is not the destruction of the Sasanians, but a costly stalemate that preserves the eastern frontier and buys the Federation time. That stalemate matters. A Sasanian court facing a harder eastern frontier would still compete fiercely with Rome, but it would have fewer resources for deep expansion into the former Kushan lands. Asia remains a more balanced, three-cornered political world. Inside the Federation, stability depends on procedure. Provincial assemblies hear local disputes. Imperial judges handle interregional trade, military obligations, and appeals. This layered system makes distant rule more negotiable, but also slower and more complex. Indian Ocean commerce now reinforces the overland routes. At ports on India's western and southern coasts, local ship owners, merchants, and customs agents profit from a more connected interior. The empire coordinates exchange. It does not monopolize every sale. The cultural result is equally varied. Gandharan workshops continue their Greco-Buddhist visual language, while artists across the Federation adapt it to regional patrons, materials, and sacred traditions. No single imperial style replaces local art. Monasteries, temples, courts, and markets become places of argument as well as devotion. Buddhist scholars, Brahmanical teachers, merchants, and officials debate law, patronage, and ethics, an imperfect but productive pluralism at the center of the alternate state. By the 4th century, the conditions that historically produced a Gupta-style northern consolidation may not repeat in the same way. Northern India remains woven into a Kushan-led network, though its provinces retain enough autonomy to shape their own futures. Centuries later, survival would depend on adaptation rather than uninterrupted central rule. In this scenario, the Kushan Federation evolves into viceroyalties and autonomous satrapies, bound by shared trade rules, coin standards, and recurring imperial councils. Its strength lies in accepting regional ambition instead of trying to erase it. Rulers use patronage, ceremonial journeys, marriage alliances, and revenue sharing to keep borderlands invested in the larger system, an achievement that always remains fragile. The reward is a denser web of exchange across Afro-Eurasia. Caravans cross mountain corridors while Indian Ocean merchants connect ports to inland markets. These routes are never perfectly safe, but a federated administration can reduce the friction that once divided them. Cities such as Mathura, Purushapura, and major river ports grow into cosmopolitan centers. Their streets mix temples, monasteries, workshops, caravan yards, and 2 to 3-story brick and timber buildings. Urban worlds shaped by constant movement rather than one uniform culture. Instead of a new single language, administration develops a shared vocabulary drawn from Bactrian, Sanskrit, and Prakrit terms. Traders and officials become fluent in practical multilingualism, one of the quiet foundations of a long-lived federation. Buddhist networks could become even more connected across the Himalayas and the seas, carrying teachers, relics, and artistic ideas into Central, East, and Southeast Asia. But their spread would remain local, shaped by rulers, communities, and older traditions in each region. When Islamic polities begin expanding in the 7th century, they meet a more organized Central and South Asian frontier. That would not stop Islam's growth, but it could change the routes, alliances, and pace through which new powers enter the region. The deepest legacy would be connectivity, not permanent conquest. A durable Kushan Federation could show how mountain passes, river plains, ports, and religious institutions might remain linked without becoming identical. This alternate Kushan world would still face rebellions, rival dynasties, and changing trade winds. Yet by surviving its first great crisis, it could become one of history's most important bridges, a state that changes Asia by keeping its many worlds in conversation. Every empire has a story history forgot. This has been Historic's Vault. More are coming. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.